Yep, thank you very much for signing in. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's get started. Ironically, we are going to be doing something from the book to start off with, and the file is I've already got it open here.
The page is 50, right? Right now we are continuing there.
Let's see. Okay, you guys are learning about you are reading the choose and the index and that yourselves. All right, you're reading and doing the lookup yourself, but I am going to be working with you on the VLOOKUP. Remember yesterday when we put it together, one of the things we did was when we put the VLOOKUP together, we said it can only be one result and that's it. And I said to you today, I would introduce you to when we did that, it was, if it was false, it was exact, so there's only one choice in that list. And I promised you that today the first thing we would jump into would be, what if VLOOKUP had been true? What does it look like? How does it feel? How do we react with it? Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. And so the file we need to have open, pricing sheet. Pricing sheet. But we're only going to be doing the VLOOKUP for today. All right, let's just make sure you guys can see me.
I think so. VLOOKUP like a investigator, right?
Yeah.
It is always following everything and find. Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's like, it's kind of being pivotal. It really is. It's like the if. You know how important I find the if function. The VLOOKUP. Another thing we're going to learn today. The data validation, although not as super powerful, what it does do, it makes our lives, again, a lot easier. And it's just one of those kind of neat little things to learn. So today, VLOOKUP with the sorted or the true option. Then we're going to do a little bit with date and time. I'm going to leave off. I will take you through this lesson, but eventually, the good thing is, if we get everything completed up to the end of lesson 2 the way I want to. Lesson 3 is, wait for it, drum roll. It's going to be, somebody was asking about it yesterday, and you are going to be learning about pivot tables, and that will be part of our project too. To my page, which is going to be 59 in the book. And there's the mark. Okay, so sorry about that. Moving everything around. See you later, love. All right. Yesterday when we did the VLOOKUP, I'm going to share my screen now. Make sure it's share multiple participants can. So I'm going to go over to pricing sheet, I think it is, and then share. All right. So yesterday, when we did the VLOOKUP, we said, look in this list. This is my table here, my table array. Look in this list. And if you see student ID 1, 2, 3, 4, go across 3 columns and find the name. And that's step. So it's an exact, you either got the exact thing or you got an error. It was that or nothing. Now with the with this one here, this is what they call the true or sorted. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over I'll just do the first one or the last one here. I'll do that again, just to have, so we have it on recording. So I'm doing the insert function, and so insert function. Luckily for me, VLOOKUP is there. Okay, what am I looking for? My lookup value is going to be the TOR number. My table array is going to be up here, so it's D5 to D8. I'm going to absolute that cell. If I hadn't given the table array a name, I would have absoluted it. Column number across, 1, 2. So that's good. If you're doing the true, obviously you could leave it blank, but we will fill in all the blanks. So that's what it says. And that's got us to this point. We have the NA because not available, because we don't have the TOR number. Ergo, we don't have anything else. In the costs column, I'm going to type it in for you. I'll just go. Okay, that's better. So exactly the same process equals VL. Okay. Then, oh, I didn't mean to click on. This is what happens if you click on help. No. Minimize you guys there for a minute. So I clicked on the help by mistake. Not my smartest move. What am I looking for? The TOR number. Okay. Oh. Where's my table array? I like this better because I can see everything better. So B5 to D8. Absolute it. And I'm letting Lazar in again. And making sure I do a comma. How many columns is it going to be across? It's going to be cross 1, 2, 3 because the cost, and approximate or true. And there she goes. Again, still bunches of NAs. You noticed before we didn't have NA here because something was not missing or it was unavailable to us. Now the cost gives us NAs across the field. So just give me 1 second here, guys. All right, that's better. I'm just trying to save on my bandwidth here. All right. So that gets me to the bottom of page 59. All right. And I'm going to flip the page. You notice I've sort of deviated a little bit from what the book does, right? Close enough. So now we get to fill in the blanks. And so by that, I mean, well, how many quantities and what TOR? So for the first quantity for the first TOR, and I'm leaning over here, it's going to be 3, 4, and 2. So 3. This is not real life, obviously. 4. Oops. 4 and all right. So far, until we get this one piece of the puzzle, the TOR number, everything stays dormant. Okay. So it's A0289. So the first, as soon as I do this, A0289. Yes, it's there. Yes, we see it. Everything falls into place. Next one is B3454. Does it matter if caps or not? Let's find out. B3454. Enter. See. Well, let's go back and cheat. See, we'll see. Yes, it sees it so far. And the third one is A4350. A43530. All right, Mo, come on in. All right. So far, it doesn't matter if it's caps or not. It recognizes it. Okay. Welcome, Mo. I'm just going to make sure.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Just making sure the chat's available to me just in case. Okay. Oh, now I can see you. All right. Yep. 59. Perfect. Okay. Actually, correction. Now we're on page 60. Okay. So where does the math? I mean, so far, what we're seeing now is give or take the same as what we saw yesterday. No problem. Okay. So now what I'd like to do is, did I not type it? So A4350.
Debbie,
Yes.
the last item,
Yep.
Tokyo Ginza, blah. So if the tour number does not match the one on the top
Mhm.
on the first chart, there's no 0 on the end of tour number in the first chart.
Yes.
How come it didn't detect that?
Actually, it did. What this is probably not the best example. When Excel deals with the representation of the next closest, Deka's coming.
Oh.
So what it does actually does the opposite to the nested if. So normally, so it goes to the top. Let me find a better example, because this one's not the best example. I'll find one with numbers for you very shortly.
Is it because we're just looking for the closest? The
Closest one, but how it finds it is actually very unique. It goes to the first group, or right now, because it's a tour number, it's not that clear. So it goes to the first one. Is that it? Yes or no? Then, so A0289, A43, so it goes to 4353. Then it goes back to, actually goes to the B and said, no, you're not there. So you must be down in this group. So it goes to the next, so it goes from the top down. Oh, so it's the lowest to the highest. And so it says, you're there or not? No.
Okay.
There or not? No. You're there. You're there. I've got one where I use percentages, and it's much, much clearer because of the fact we're using mixed text and values. It's a little bit not as clear.
So in other words, it read it correctly just because it knew what we were going for, because it's the closest match to Tokyo, blah, blah, instead of any of the other ones.
It's the closest match to the value in here. So it goes to the first one. Yeah.
Okay.
It says whatever's in here, is that lower than where I am? Yes or no?
Okay.
No, it's not. So I'm going to go to the next one. Is that lower than where I am? Yes or no? And then it goes to the next one. Is this low? Am I lower than that? So it says, yes, I'm higher. So I have, wherever I'm, it has to be one down. So it kind of does a completely reverse logic, if you can even call it logic. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm not going to do the lookups, just so you guys know. Some of these things I'm going to leave for you to do yourself, because they follow along pretty straightforward. Plus, there's a lot that I'd like to be able to cover in the number of weeks we have together. Okay. So next week is going to be dedicated to nothing but our pivot table. So, okay, so that's good. So we're going to flip forward a little bit, and we're going to touch on, so I'm ignoring the lookup vector. I am ignoring the lookup array. That's something you guys can do. Okay. We've already talked about date and time, about how date and time is represented by Excel versus how date and time is represented by us. Okay. And we have you have probably in your day-to-day activity, you probably come across functions such as equals now. And we did talk about the volatile, right? The volatile functions, yeah? And equals today. Yeah. And so the difference between the now and the today is the now is this second. I'm going to come back. So somebody's looking at the clock, and they say it's 12:13:59 seconds. Let me go let Deborah know. So if I go and press the enter key again, look at the cell once more, it changes. Each time the screen or the worksheet has to be refreshed, Excel will go to the system time, date, and it will say, what time is it? And then it'll come back. Obviously, it's instantaneous, and it'll represent that date and time. So that's the now function, exactly what it is. What time is it now? So the today, so it's no different. It's exactly the same as now, but with less stuff. Okay, so by that, it's just today's date. What is today's date? Okay, Deb, So I'm just going to put a value in here. See if we see this one, the second one, G4 change. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to zoom in a bit because I want you guys to be able to see this. We definitely know that we see the G3 change, but I want to see if there is a flicker or the cell changes a little bit. So I'm just going to zoom a bit more. I really want you guys to see this. I think I'm going to scroll over a bit. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to type in DEB. You don't see anything yet until I press the enter key, because until that screen is refreshed, nothing has changed. I don't see a change in it. So I think it doesn't do that instantaneous. What time day is it? What time day is it? Those are two of quite a few date and time functions. And I want to comment and commend and thank everybody who took the time to actually go and find how many built-in functions are there in Excel. And to the one person that actually counted them out, you are amazing. A lot braver than me and amazing. Okay. But the answer to this one is changes from person to person depending on what they take in as the information. So their variables change. Okay. Keep that in the back of your mind. Everybody's variables are different. It's going to make it, we're going to need that information later on in the book. Just put it in the back there. All right. Okay, so we've got the now. Oh, we haven't done the date yet. So I've given you the now. I've given you the today. And I'm working, and before anybody asks, page 63. Okay. Doing everything reversed today. So page 63. There's a lot of theory here. Please do the reading. It's very important. I'm going to give you the short and sweet version of it and try and fill in the blanks there. Okay. And on page 63, it goes into how date and time is based down into serial numbers. We saw that already because if we had just, let's see, today, if I put that in as general, this is how many days it is since January 1st, 1900. All right. So, but that's all that it gives you all the theory there and the difference between the date and the time. It's just more increments. With the time, it's the same process, but you know what? Let's show you. That's not, I'll show you. So go here and you're going to see slightly differently. So you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see the date, and the increments of the 24-hour day is on the right-hand side. So that's how Excel sees it. And that's how we see it. Okay. Quite often, especially in the kind of fields that you will be wanting to go into, quite often you might want to be able to pull out or extract the serial number of the dates. We might want to find out how many. Okay, so yeah, so how many, what date is it? The year? Is it the, how many months? How many days? Okay. A little bit more complex than that. That is not one of my favorites. Date values. So again, let's look at this, and that's not even all of the functions. So I'm looking at page 64. I will tell you the ones that I work with on a day-to-day basis. So date and time of, sorry, now today, occasionally I will work with date. It confuses me. Date value, rarely. Day, yes, constantly. Month, yes, constantly. Year, absolutely. Days, occasionally. If you're calculating an invoice, you might, how many days since they sent out the invoice? When were they supposed to have paid you? But that's why you're learning accounting software. You don't have to. Okay. The weekday, so a number. So if the weekday of today is going to be, we're going to find out. Okay. So time is useful, hours useful, minutes. I don't think I've ever used the second one, to be honest with you, or the minute. And at the bottom of page 64, and I don't know what this is going to be for the Mac. The shortcut I'm going to share with you, it's in the book. This has been around since even before Excel. when Lotus 123 was the only spreadsheet software we had, this particular shortcut's been around. So control and semicolon. Okay. Control and semicolon. So now it's you notice this time the difference between when it's a stamp of the date. It's not a formula. So that's the difference. It just gives you the date of today. It's if anybody has worked with Word, you know you can either insert a date in and it never changes and it never updates, or you can insert the date in where it constantly changes and updates each day. So think about this as a timestamp, and this one here is timestamp, but this is a formula. So this one changes, this one doesn't. Okay. Alrighty. So, and if you need to, the one Control Shift and can't do it there. I can do it. Okay. Control Shift and semicolon, and it's now a timestamp of 2 o'clock. Really neat little thing. If you just want to sort of have a little reminder, when did you finish this or when did you complete this? Control Shift semicolon. And that's
Sorry,
useful for anything.
Yeah, can you repeat again? I missed that one. I'm sorry about that.
It's so quick. It's just like boom, done. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so did you see about the today and now? You saw about that, correct?
Yes,
All right.
just yeah, okay.
Okay, so if you just do Control plus the semicolon, it gives you a date stamp. That's all it is. It doesn't change. It's as if you actually manually had written in the date, not like you have the formula here. And so it's control, but if you do Control Shift semicolon, you should get the date stamp. So you got time stamp and the date stamp.
But this does not continuously update it, right?
Correct, it does not. It's as if you had got one of those stamps, you dabbed it into the ink, and you stamped your sheet of paper. Yes, that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, I got that from the bottom of the book.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, my secrets are no longer mine. All right, so let's do a little bit of date and time stuff. This is kind of a little bit of a fun exercise because we're going to do a lot of small concepts. When we take a break, it's 2:07 now, probably 3 o'clock or thereabouts. We'll take a little bit of a break so I can go find some files with the VLOOKUP and I can show you how it's really done. And then time permitting, I'm going to find one of my exercises with the VLOOKUP and the IF to wrap up our day. 100% sure about the VLOOKUP, 95% about the VLOOKUP and the IF. I have to check on something. Has anybody ever used the sum if, count if, max if, and average if functions ever?
No, I've never used the if function.
If,
No,
yes.
just
Date. Yeah, just date.
Okay, so I'm going to have to make sure where it is in the book. That's going to be one of the things we learn, because again, you can tie that in with the VLOOKUP. You can also do, the if, the other summary functions. The VLOOKUP is very flexible. Okay, all right, let's get this show on the road. I'm going to close this one off without saving. And so I'm going to, if I missed the 3 o'clock mark, please somebody remind me, and then we'll just take a quickie break there. I'm going to leave it open, then I'm going to go and share again. So the file we need to open up is called Departure Date Calculator, and it's on the page 65, Departure Date Calculator. I'll write this down here. All right, and it's on page 65. This is just a nifty little exercise. Okay. And then I will share my screen again. Okay, you're going to go to this one here. I'm going to share. All right, so just to remind you, I've downloaded it, enabled editing. All is good for the world. Naval editing, Deborah. All right. Bearing in mind, there is always better software out there to do things. But if you are a little business by yourself, so maybe you're choosing to go into accounting, maybe you just want to be a consultant. Maybe your goal is not necessarily to work in a big company, but if you're learning SAP, you may end up having to learn a lot of the smaller, lesser important functions, and that's what I'm going to introduce you to right now. So we have the departure date calculator, and you can save it with your name. I'm not asking to see any of these because I'm trusting that you guys are adults, you do it, right? All right, and I'm going to save it with my name. File, save as. Here, I'm just going to use my initials. Okay. Oh, to those of you who celebrate it, Happy Lunar New Year. I forgot to mention that.
Happy Lunar New Year to you too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't celebrate it, but happy Lunar New Year to you.
Last year was my year. I was a metal rat, so I don't know what year it is this year.
I think it's the ox because I saw it on a chatter. And maybe on Google. I don't know.
It's the ox. It's the ox.
It is
Yeah, right.
the ox. Okay, gotcha, gotcha.
If you tell what animal is your animal or your year as animal, does that give away your age?
It just did. It just did.
Well, I didn't tell you what animal represents my year. It is the ox. It is the ox.
Yeah, I gave away my year, and I'm okay with that. All righty. So everybody's had the opportunity to open up the book. They've got the page 65. We've got our computer open, and we know which year we are in. That's always a bonus. So in B5, we're going to enter a date in the future of your choice. So what I would suggest you do, put your birth date. So mine is September 21st. I'm going to put 2021. And where am I going to put that? Oh, you're going to love this exercise. It's just neat. When it comes together, it's so cool. So B3, I do that. Make sure with this one, make sure that when you type it in, sorry about the creaky chair as usual. Make sure that you type it in, that it actually gets recognized as a date. Okay, that's where I think that's the only place things can go wrong. Oops, like that, 2021, and enter. If I've done it correctly, yes, the format changed. So then I know my format is correct. Otherwise, Excel looks at it, says, what do you want me to do with that? I don't know. All right, nothing that's nothing worse than Excel throwing attitude at you. All right, so we've entered or almost put our own little timestamp in our date. The B4, we're going to actually insert the function. All right, and we're going to do equals now. I don't think I'm ever going to do this as my mystery question of the day, but I have done it with other class. Which is the function or formula that I hate the most? It's this one, now. It's the equals now. Just in case it comes up one day, it's the one I hate the most because it constantly flickers. Okay, so now we're going to figure out which day of the week the departure. So this is actually very cool. Okay, so I'm going to select C5. Then we're going to break it down. So I'm going to read it through first, and then I'm going to do it because otherwise I know I might mess up. So C5 is going to be equals weekday B3. Okay. So yes, it wants me to type it in, goes against everything. Whatever that is. All right. Comma. Ah, there's the magic. When do I want my week to start? What is it going to be? Which one are we going to pick? We are going to select. which one? Sunday. Sunday being number one. So what they're saying is when you see this is what day of the week do you want your week to start on? So they're saying Sunday 1 through to Saturday. I think that's right. Yes. Yeah. Number 1. Yeah. Okay. Yours may look different from mine. And comma. And what kind is it going to be? Return type. And oh, I do have to do that, don't I? Look. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have to do it, don't I? Okay. Don't do that, right? Yeah. All right. I think I may have done something very, very wrong here. And here I was.
Mine is the same. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So I've done the track 1. Now we're going to use the index. So what we're going to do is going to take with the index. I guess we do get to have a look at that. We are going to. I can't be in the. I've got to be in the wrong location. No, you know what? I was. C5. I guess that's it. All right. And I've really got to make a dog's breakfast of this one, haven't I? So weekday done that, E3. Sorry, guys. And you guys, and my wonderful video editor is going to have a lot of fun with this one. If she's smart, you can put little arrows in there and say, Deborah messed up. Maybe a little explosion coming out of it. Did you guys see the video? Thank you so much, by the way. My own personal video editor. So let me do this again. Okay, so in B4 I've done now. And okay. So in C5, okay, Deborah, do you know what the C5 looks like? Okay, yes. And we're going to be using this, by the way, I believe. So in C5, I'm going to do that. It's going to be the first part of it. It's going to be weekday B3. Okay. I've only got one choice. And if it weekday B3, I'm typing it in as much as I hate it. Okay. Then, okay. 1. Entering 1. So now, let's hope I did that right. I did not do that right. What the heck am I doing wrong? I think it's because it's a format. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so is everybody else getting a date versus a number?
No, I have the number as well. I am Googling.
I got the number.
It says press the number format.
Yeah. Okay, get rid of it. There it is, number format. Which one? 1?
No, 1 is okay. Then choose format from the home tab.
And then do that. Okay.
Close the, yes, press enter.
And then I go back over here. Where do I go?
Yeah,
I think you need to check B5. I think you need to check B5 is clear. There shouldn't be anything. B5.
There's nothing in B5 yet.
No,
Okay.
no. Go to number formatting and change date to number.
To
Yes,
number?
here.
How many
Yes.
decimal places?
Just number.
Just number.
You have 3. 3 is correct answer because 3 is the.
Yep. Good. So now we've got this piece of the information. Now I can go over and do my index function. The only thing I did slightly differently, possibly, was I decreased my my percentages here. That's the only thing. So now, if you guys could walk me through this, equals index. Which one are we doing here? D4 to D4 to E10. So it's going to be, why is it D4 to E10? Because this is our range here.
Yeah.
All right. Then we're going to make sure go to different C5 and
C5.
2, comma. So Y, C5. I'm actually going to have to type it in there because I'm kind of stuck. So C5 is where we just put that value in. So C5, comma. And I'm going to go across 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 2. What we see is the formula itself has disappeared. And it worked. So if I was to go and look at the future date.
Yes, I checked it. It's Tuesday. It's correct.
Nice. Nice. So not too many explosions when you're doing the video editing for me here, okay? All right. Not sure how that's particularly useful, but that's okay. There are other ways of doing it, by the way, but we are learning days of the week, date and time calculations. So that's how we will use it. The other thing, I completely forgot to mention this, I'm sorry. The other good thing is, even though I may skip certain sections in the book, most likely you'll find that they get tied back into or integrated back into our lessons. So just like the index function. Okay. So got that done. I have not exploded. Everything is still good in the world. So B7, then I'm going to do B7. The formula is going to be B3 minus B4. That one makes sense because it's a number subtracted by a number. So equals B3. Excel sees a number minus B4, which is today's date. So are you sure that's correct? B3 minus B4. Looks a little freaky to me, but let's keep going. I have faith. I have a lot of faith. Okay, so in C7, let's break this down a little bit. I encourage you to do this exercise with me and then go to play with it again a couple more times too, instead of just like following the instructions. Okay. Alrighty, so it tells me I'm going to use the days function. So this is where everything will get flipped on you'll have everything flipped on its face by the time you get down to the very bottom. Okay, I use the days. So I'm actually going to put caps on this. So days. End date, start date. So days is going to be B3. Be careful of that one. B3 is the end date and B4 is start date. The reason I say that is because certain people, mentioning no names, me, has reversed this. So that tells me it's 223 days. Let's let Galaxy Note 20. We have a new student, Galaxy Note 20. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so there you are. You're good. So we are on page, I'm not sure if you're just kind of re-entering, but we're on page 65 and we're working our way through the exercise. And then we're just basically going to pull and extract the numerical value for the month, day, the year, the hour, the minute, and second. All right, so let's do that. So
I am sorry, I missed that one, 221. Can you?
Sure, let's do that from the beginning, shall we?
Okay.
So it's going to be equals, and I was saying I've got to be careful about it. It's B3 minus B4. So the bigger number, the bigger date versus the older, less date.
Yes, okay.
All right.
Yes.
So then we've got this massive crazy number here. So what they're going to ask us to do is we're going to find out how many days in that massive number. Tell me how many days there are in it. So you'll find that you go through all of these functions here. So some of them, it's just not even worth going into the insert function. So end date is going to be B3. And it is, that's when I leave. And today's date, start date, how many days between that date and that date? Enter. So these two did exactly the same thing. The only difference between cell B7 and C7 formatting. So whoever was kind enough to remind me about the formatting, good job. I'll show you what I mean. Just to prove it. So number, there you go. I guess if you want, because they're doing the increments, it's because you've got today's date, you've got now, that's why it's slightly wonky. That's the only reason. Okay, so that gets you up to speed there. So now we're moving on. The rest of it, it's you know how we extracted the number of days using the days function. We're now going to take pieces of information and extract it from either one date or the other date, and you'll see it. So it's month before. So, and again, is it worth inserting in? Sure, if you want to, but it's by the time you type it in, you could, or by the time you insert it, you could have had it typed in. So today's date. We should see the number 2. So it says, looks at that date, tells you it's the serial number is 2 of 12. All right, do the same thing for the day, itchy nose. Okay, difference between days and day, other than an S, is going to be B4 again. So, and then enter. So yep, 12th day in. Yep, so you're going to do the year, the hour, and the minute, and the second. And these, if you have a static date, it never changes. But because this is a volatile function, that's why it will actually change when you get down to the last 2 to 3 here. It's going to change. I'm keeping an eye on the time. We're still good. So equals. These I just bang out without even thinking about it. Okay, what date is it? It's going to be and then hour. So we're look at day. It's today's date is the 12th of the 2nd, 2021, and it's a palindrome. So it goes forward and backward exactly the same. I meant to mention it to my other class today. Same thing, today's date. As you progress through Excel, there's going to be functions that you say, to heck with it, it's not even worth typing, not even worth going into insert function. These guys are the ones you just know them. They're pretty darned easy. Even I can do them. I'm feeling a bit down today, but this afternoon I think my energy is coming up a bit. And apparently it's 27, so 14. Remember, it's 24-hour clock. So it's 14 down, 27 minutes equals seconds. And today's date, and enter. So what happens? I'm just going to write my name in here. You don't need to, but I'm just going to write my name, Deborah, in here and see if anything in this bunch of cells that we've just created. Yep. You see, flicker, flicker, flicker. And that's why I hate the equals now function. But it's a very serious comment on this. All joking aside, if you're working with very large data sets, this kind of function or too many of these kind of functions in a worksheet or a workbook can actually slow down the workbook or the worksheet. So just serious, on a very serious note. All right, so that gets me to the bottom of page 65. And so then we get to do a little bit more of a calculation. And I said the other one that I don't like, date value, here it is. It's almost like they're punishing me. Okay, so current date. And for the current date, so do 10. Oh, so I've done the refresh. Basically, you do the refresh or just do what I do, just type in your name. Depending on what your computer looks like, it might be the, I think it's F10 key. No, F9. Or for most likely, it's going to be the function F9. Yeah, for me, on my laptop, function F9. Never remember that. Okay. So select cell B16 and enter the date. So this time we've deconstructed it. Remember I told you we're going to flip it on its head. and I didn't say reconstruct it, but we're going to flip it on its head. Welcome to being flipped on your head. So B16, I'm in B16. So I'm going to type in equals date, of course. So now we're taking the pieces of the puzzle or the parts of all the different parts of the whatever. I'm going to start putting them together. So the year is going to be, make sure it's right. So it's going to be B11, 9, and 10. So B11, yep, comma. Depending on which order we do it. So you could do it day, month, year, month, day, year. So B9, comma, and B10. So what it has is captured the contents of these 3 cells. And think about that house of cards. So it did. Year, day, yep. So year, month, day. That's pretty cool. That part always impresses me. All right. So we're taking it all apart. Time to put it all together. And so far, so good. So we've got a serialized date. Okay. Mystery question of the day. I'm going to write this one down. It's come out of nowhere. What? Okay. And so, format. Noted. Yep. 12. Page 66. Okay. And when you're getting this information together, remember, make it nice. You can phone a friend, Google. Somebody already said Google is my friend. I think somebody said TGIF too. But Google is my friend, and so it's going to be on page. And get rid of that. Page 66. All right, that is my mystery question of the day. Okay, again, to remind you, it's optional or not. I like to see the answers. I especially liked yesterday's answers because I knew they'd all be different. And I'm intrigued to see what kind of little nuggets of information you can find out. I don't even know what ISO stands for. So you got to help me out a lot here, guys. All right. Okay. So this part, I have to be very, now again, all joking aside.
Sorry, Debbie, before I forget to ask, can I just ask a quick question? These questions that you asked, like yesterday you asked us how many functions are there in Excel.
Yes.
Are we supposed to like email the response to you? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just a quick email. You don't know. Some people do entire essays.
I mean, all I had to do was do a Google search.
Yeah.
Google's your friend,
Don't
right?
tell them- don't
So,
tell
and it said
anybody.
300, like right away.
Don't tell
So is that
anybody.
correct? Oh, well, I mean, everyone could just do a quick how many.
I know
Google
now,
search.
but yeah, yes. It
So I'm
could be
curious to know,
300.
are we going to learn all 300 in this course?
Should I make you?
No. I mean, like most of
No,
it, like
no,
we probably already know.
Okay. Let me answer you again. Just answering you seriously. Let me respond to that one. As you progress, there will some functions that you remember and some that you won't. All right. And so I'm not going to make you ever remember any function. It's up to you which ones you want to learn or remember. It depends on what your day-to-day activities are. I have an article I'm going to be sharing with you guys in my Google Drive. It's called Questions Asked About Excel in an Interview. Okay, so then you'll have an idea of which ones are important if you are at that job stage. So I can share that with you.
That would be helpful. Thank you.
And I still have
As far as the exam goes, like, will you tell us which functions will appear on the exam?
I'll do better than that. I will give you a practice test. So let's say it's in 2 weeks from now. Okay. So next Thursday, actually this Friday coming up, I would ask you is just to remind you, next week's our practice review. is there anything that you have gone through that you want me to review again? Then I say, come in with no book. You don't need anything. You just need your brain. And then we do it together. Okay.
Okay, wonderful.
And so then that practice review comes sort of the template, if you will, for the next day.
Okay, beautiful. So, does that mean our
It's all
like
practical.
what do you mean? The exam date would be the next day?
Yeah. So if you did the practice review on the Thursday, then the exam will be on the Friday. And the reason I do it that way is because there's nothing worse for people, because you guys have got lives outside of here. Okay. Yeah. And there's nothing worse for a student than having to do the practice on the Friday, and then they stress all weekend and they forget everything, or they try to remember one thing and they forget everything else. And then they come in Monday and they're so stressed out and nobody remembers anything.
Yeah, you know what? That is like something that I suffer from. Yeah, I forget. So I do like to do the exam right after I've learned everything.
Yeah. And so it's very interactive. So it's basically, you know how I gave you the exercise yesterday? It's all written down and we go through it together. I can probably record it. All right. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Not valid questions. Okay. So now can I go back to your original question about? Yes, I could Google this. Yes, and there's probably 100. One of the other parts of answering this is there's probably 100 that are the most popular or prevalent, but they're depending on where you get your response, it could be anything up to 500 built in or 300 built in. And I've seen numbers vary across the map, but people always say, this is where I got it from. Except for one person here who counted them on their 2016 computer. I can't argue that number. All right. So that's my statement on that. So you've got your mystery question. It is optional. It's always fun to kind of find out what it is. Yeah. All right. And now I told you the two functions I hate. This is the other one. Okay. So we are going to be doing the date view. Okay. So basically, we're taking all the parts and we're smushing it together, and then we should get a number out of it, if I'm not mistaken. So let's do this. And it's going to be date view. Okay. Make sure I'm in the right location. Okay. And I write it exactly the way you see it in page 12. Okay. So it equals. There's a reason you notice we have the quick quotation marks around it. So Excel is reading that as text and it will translate it to date text. So date view is going to be quotation mark 2022. B3. So I've got to do one. Okay, that's what I have to do. Date view. No, you cannot select the cell reference for this one, by the way. And so it's going to be B3. So the date view date is going to be the one that you typed in B3. So for me, it's going to be 21st of September, 2021. How about that, Mark? Quotation marks around it. So do it exactly the same format. So 2021 dash 09 dash. So 09 for my month, 21 for the year, quotation marks. All right. And then closing my brackets. And in all honesty, this is one of the ones I hate. It's going to work for me or not. Good Lord, it did.
Yes, it is.
Be still my beating heart. Okay. So now we have taken, I cannot tell you the amount of times I've messed this one up. But we have taken these 2 days and we have taken them apart. We smushed them back together. Now we've taken them from a text format to a number format, which means whoever reminded me about using the format cell to convert it back to a number, I imagine, is right there again. They are. So who could have thought these 2 dates we could do so much? Home tab, number group, or you right, if you prefer, right mouse click that number. I'm just going to use the general drop down and short date. Ah, yes, okay, that was the right one or not. There it is. Look at that. I'm when it works, that's really amused. And if, that is so funny. It's 2021-02. Okay, so again, what is the number of different days difference? Okay. Oh yes, this is the other one. Okay, B17 and B16. I told you it was going to be fun-ish. Okay. Okay, go back there. So B18. What have I done wrong here? It's on here so you can see it. Look at my screen. What have I done wrong? What am I forgetting? I'm going to zoom in.
Equal sign. Equal
Yes,
sign.
perfect. Beautiful.
Or plus, yeah.
Or plus, depending, and the plus actually came from Lotus 123, believe it or not. Maybe not quite that much. That's a wee bit too zoomed in a bit. Unfortunately, we still need to have different parts or components of the workbook. So in B18, all right, days B17 and B16. Okay. I'm taking you at your word. Imagine if you had to go to insert function, go to date and time, blah, blah, blah. It's not worth it. So it's going to be B17 and then 16. So, and enter. 221 days, which means if I go up here and we've done all this stuff around here, 221 days. Yeah, that's so neat. So, sorry, I'm so entertained by this part. All right. So
Debbie,
now,
I'm so sorry to
go for it.
sidetrack you again. Okay, but you know how you said that you hate that formula that you did previous to the last one? It's in B17.
Yes.
You entered it, you said value or date value, and then in the parentheses you manually put in the date.
Yes.
Isn't that going to be an issue when when the date changes because you manually put it? You didn't do a reference like B.
So, yeah. So let me do
whatever
it again. Yeah, let me do it as it says. What it says. Bear with me 1 minute. I'm going to go right from scratch here. Department date. So it's date value. So it equals date value quotation mark, and the spelling does count different. Okay, date value. So much for me being clever. Okay, and I can do double click on that and it should accept it. Okay, so the date text. Basically, I'm converting text into date or date into text, which is why they say make sure you select the correct date in the correct format. This might be one if you get, because I have to remember quotation mark, year, month, day, or I can put it in any order I like actually. So for the year, it's 2021. Oh, come on, 2021 dash 09 dash 21 quotation marks. So what Excel is going to do with that one is we are going to go into insert function and see. Quite often, if I see somebody else's formulas or function, I'm not quite sure what they're doing, I will actually do this. I'll actually go into the function to see what it is. It converts a date in the form of text to a number or a serial number, and that serial number we'll do something with later on. Okay, and so this Excel date time code business here. Okay. So that's why it says date underscore text, and that's why the order is so important and the quotation marks around it is so important. Okay.
Oh, okay. Is it is it automatically copying B cell B13, sorry, B3,
Nope.
because it's inside quotations?
No, it says, okay, give me a date. Give me any date.
February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that, 2021. So I'm going to do the date value. Let's do this here. Okay, insert function. Date value. Yeah, quite often I'll look at somebody else's spreadsheet and say, oh, how did you do that? Okay, let it do the heavy lifting for me. Now, the only thing I'm not sure is, we're going to have to find out how we approach this. So it's going to be 2021 dash 02 dash 14. It might, you notice how it doesn't recognize, we see something here, but we're not too sure exactly what it is. And you notice we don't see formula down here. This might be one of the times we manually have to put the quotation marks in. So as soon as we do that, except Excel said, I see that between the quotation mark on the left and the quotation mark on the right, I recognize that as a string of text. I'm going to do whatever it is I do and convert it into a number. And that number is representative of, since January 1st.
That date.
Since January 1st, 1900. That's how many days it's been around. All right. So then what we do, we can see here is what we do is take that number, go to Home tab, number group, and let's do a date. There, so it converts. So you see how it converts, even if you type in the dates. It's entirely possible that, and again, anybody in the accounting field, or even if you're doing payroll, wherever you end up, even in the SAP field, it's quite often that the data set that you get will not be in the wrong format. So it will be in the wrong format. So all the dates you have in this column of 500 employees, it's not in dates. They put it in text. Okay, just maybe it's the way they've imported it, any number of ways. And so you could use the date value to convert that text value into it's a bit of a complicated process, but you can actually save all the text, because even if you converted text to number or value, it's still not exactly the same. So that would be a good way or a good benefit of using the date value.
All right, thank you.
But my reason for hating it is because I tend to forget which order to do things. Right. Okay. Now, we've got the work. So we need to find out the number of days between B18 and let's do it. So select cell B. Let's make sure I've done everything right. Number of days. Okay. Nearest working day. We're probably going to have to identify, when does my week start? When does my work week start? Just like we did in the very, very beginning. All right. So B21. Now again, I'm going to do it and then we're going to look at it. I'm going to sort of deconstruct it, keeping an eye on the time. I hate it when I have to type this. Not hate it, I feel like I'm just following the book. So we got work day. And which one are we looking for? Work day. Good enough. Just want to back up here. I want to show you something again. I think I've pointed it out to you before. If you do select the drop-down list, never select the words, because you saw how that messed me up here. Always bring your mouse to the little symbol, whether you've been in Mac or PC. If there's a little symbol there, like the insert function, always use that. Okay, so there you go. Start date, time, days, holidays. Okay, so what is it? So B16 is my start date. Sure. I know I should be typing this in, B20. But I don't have anything B20 yet. I can't do that yet, so I got to go back to B20. I completely skipped that.
No, I think so. It's
type it in 221. 221. That's
16.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So 221 is the number. So I don't do the formula. I do enter it in that way. Okay. Again, always double clicking on the insert function. Start date. Start date is going to be B16. I can do that one. Yes. Come on. What number it is B20. Okay. And we're going to take this apart afterwards, because we're not just going to follow it like a bunch of lemmings. We're going to actually look at it and break it apart, deconstruct it. Okay. And then B22 and B23. Okay. Don't have anything in B22 or B23 yet. Okay. Okay, P22. 2. I have a feeling I'm missing something here. P23. But good. And I was saying to you how much I like this. B20 done. B21 done. B17. Okay, so B17. Okay, so you've got here, it's going to say Control C. I'm not sure I'm going to like this. And Home tab, Format Painter, 21. So Painter, B21. There you go. So far, so good. But, okay. Okay, so it says the nearest working day is going to be the 20th. All right. I know somebody's going to check that for me. But what does this mean? I mean, I'm not confused, but I'm probably thinking the same things you guys are. What is it doing? Let's break this down and see exactly what it's doing before we just follow, just follow along. Okay, so let's go back in and look at workday. Okay, insert function. Okay. So if there are any holidays, so this is the start day, this is the end. It's just, unless we fill something in the holiday here, okay, or here, okay, so holidays, if we have anything here, I'm going to go in and check, and I encourage everybody to do this next step, by the way. I'm going to click on the help, and when I click on the help, it's going to go into Microsoft Office, the website, and it's going to give you really good help. So I'm actually not going to do that, but click on the help. And then you may or may not see me. I don't know. I'm just going to go back to my share here. I just want to share this to you. I clicked on the help workday function and then share. And then I'm going to go back to my other one. Just really want to encourage you guys. Don't be afraid to have a look at what it is. So again, the holidays are optional. How do we know the holidays are optional? Let's go back and check that in a second too. All right, so and that would be another array or list. Okay, so want to make sure. Let's go have, and again, look at the remarks. Best thing you can ever do to see down here on the examples, it will walk you through it. And so yes, I get that. And occasionally you may find videos. Sometimes they'll incorporate videos at the very top here. Not always, apparently. Okay. And it tells you what the workday function is good for. I use this one constantly. I steal from it constantly. All right. So now that is my gift to you for today. So let me go back to my Excel and I'm going to go back to my share. I'm getting so good at this. Good. Okay. So let's see this one. Yeah, this is the correct one. Share. All right. How can, and this is opening up, throwing up to you guys here, thinking what we learned yesterday and today, how can I tell if all of the holidays choice is optional? If I'm looking at this dialog box here, and I'm going to zoom in for you guys a bit. Okay. I'm going to go plus, it's going to go massive, be ready. So what on this screen here, so I've zoomed in for us. You've got the start date, you've got the days, and sorry?
It's not bold.
Perfect, beautiful. Who is the wonderful person who said that?
Kate.
Excellent, good stuff. So it was okay, and I did not need to panic because there was nothing in there. It's okay, the only two pieces I needed, exactly like a VLOOKUP. All right. And so I've done that, 17, done that, format painter. So then it should tell me what I need to. Okay, we did that already. And I'm going to just say, here, get rid of it. It's hiding again. So actually, it goes to the number, then we convert it from the number to something humans can understand. All right. So now the change of date in cell B20. This is where it gets confusing. All right. So B20 or 21. No, one looks pretty good. I'm not sure about this part. So it is, yeah, the 20th of December is not the nearest work day for September. I'm just making a guess here. We're going to stop after this one, by the way, take our little break. All right. So the date ends, so they change the number, and so B20. Oh, so it's 221. I'm going to go 155. I have no idea which number to put in there, so I'm going to put it in. Oh my gosh, look how close that is.
Pastor, what did you write in here? D, A, B, M, I.
There you go. Am I good or what? Actually, that was good lucky guess. Okay. Almost done. So B22. This is where your holidays come into play. And what do we do here? Today and the travel date, departure dates.
Family day.
What day should we put in? Let's everybody do the same date. So somebody give me a date for between now and I guess the departure date.
July 1st. July 1st.
Happy Canada Day. Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay, so. All right. And another holiday could be August 5th. Oh, no, let's do August 1st. Actually, technically, we could have done no, we couldn't have done that one. Okay. All right.
August 1st isn't a holiday, is it?
I don't know. I just made it up.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're just pretending. August 2nd appears to be a holiday. It's
Let's do that then, eh? All right. Okay, so we got that and that. Into B22. And then enter another weekday date. B20. So I've done that. Okay. Here it's similar. Yeah, it changes. Honestly, unless it's your business to know this, you won't go this far into the weeds. Okay.
Yeah, I actually feel sorry for you, Debbie, because I feel like this is crazy stuff.
It is. It's
people,
really.
right?
It's not.
Who does this? Who uses these kinds of functions? Oh my God.
But if you need to, you will know it. That's the beauty of it. It's like if you need to know how to drive a standard car, you get the lessons, you know how to use it, you drive it that way every day.
Right.
Yeah,
But
maybe
I salute you
rental
for knowing
cars.
it so
Yeah.
well.
But that's why you always look underneath the hood of the car to make sure it's okay. And I just, all right, so we are at, my goodness gracious me. That's insane. I got it down to the minute and I did not plan it this way. It just happened. So give me a 10-minute break to be able to go get a couple more formula functions. And I'll bring them back to
For
the table.
sure.
We're going to do the
For sure.
if and the VLOOKUP and other stuff. Alrighty?
Okay,
For sure,
10
yes.
minutes. 10 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
bye-bye.
All right, I'm back. One piece at least. Anyways, I have a couple of files. I'm going to pop everything into the Google Drive as well as the chat here. So hopefully that's helpful. And so I'll pop these in the chat and then I'll copy the same ones into the drive. Just give me a second. So pop these ones first. And they're on the desktop now. So I definitely cannot find. Unfortunately, just before I met you guys, my old computer was on the blink. So I have shared. Why did I do that twice? ProBooks, Canadian Mortgage. Okay. If anybody's interested in Canadian Mortgage Calculator, it's there. I'm going. Which one am I sharing with you now? Let's have a look at what we have there. It's the MISC-IF VLOOKUP-ANNA. Alrighty. And so let's get the show on the road. I have not done this one in a long time. I'm warning you guys now. So there might be some interesting moments, but it's a very cool little exercise that puts everything together. And I want to show you this one because I want to show you how I put some of my little extra stuff together. So MISC-IF VLOOKUP-ANNA XLSX. And I'm going to open it up and we're going to have a quick look through it to see what we have here. And I'm going to share my screen with you. I have already, so go back to still recording. Go back to MISC-IF VLOOKUP-ANNA. And we're recording again. Alrighty. Okay. So we have 3 sheets of paper, 3 sheets in a workbook. Thank you very much, Deb.
Okay, which page? Also, that is
We've got
different.
3 sheets here. We've got done, if VLOOKUP. So the one we're working on is the MISC-IF VLOOKUP-ANNA. And we've got 3 sheets in that particular one. I'm going to have a look and see what we have here. And the one I'd like us to go to is the one that's done. Remember I told you I had a better example of doing the VLOOKUP with the true or the sorted result. It's ironically, it happens to be in here anyway. So I'm just going to have a look at it. I just want to show you, I'm going to take 30 seconds of your time because like I said, this is a much, much, much better example. You can tell it's been around for a while. Okay, it is completely done. And so what you'll want to do is to see what I've done. Let's have a look at it. And I'm just going to go through this, like I said, 30 seconds or more. It's a much better example than the book. Also, okay, so my commission is going to be, I'm just going to actually cheat here. It says B2, sales, which is a table here. How many columns across? 1, 2, and then it's true. Let me show you what it does. I'm just going to do it once. Okay. Equals BL. Think about it. You have to figure out what somebody's sales is. You cannot have an individual row in a table for each dollar. Okay, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. Also, when you get bonuses, they tend to go up in increments, like 2020. They have that 25,000 or 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, and up. So what Excel does, so it's B2. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. My lookup array is here. You notice the lowest value is on the top and the highest value is on the bottom. Okay, and it's called the sales table. Okay, and there's going to be 2 columns across, and I'm just going to accept the true. Okay, and let's have a look and see. Like I say, just once you see it, once you'll get it, it's great. So let's look at this number 35. It goes to the first cell. It says, am I higher, or Excel says, is whatever this value is here, is it higher than this value is here? Yes or no? It's almost like the nested if function. No, go back up to the next one. Is this value, is this value lower than the sales? Yes or no? Okay, no, it's not. So let's go to the next one. So is this value here in B2, 3,500, is it less than the sales 5,000? Yes, it is. So then Excel automatically says, if it's not this, it has to be this. It has to be the one below, and that's why it applies the 5%. So it gets, let's do one. This one I like to do 25001. 2501. And so it's okay. So it says yes. So it says is this lower than this one? So is Alex's sales, is it lower than the first one? Don't know what it is. Don't know. Don't care. No, it's not low. Let me go to the next increment or level, if you will, or the next ladder in the rung. Is whatever in here, is it greater than or is it lesser than whatever's in here? Yes. Okay, stop. Back up one, and whatever that value is below, that's the percentage you're going to use. And that's why it's sorted out. It's always sorted, and it's always sorted with the lowest value at the top and the highest value at the bottom, which is completely the opposite of the nested if. So that's all I wanted to show you. That one there. Okay. Don't be surprised. This one is not a lot of excitement going on here. But you do notice I give you the formula. All right. And also on the next sheet, you've got like all sorts of ways that we can improve on this thing. We can use, once we do the data validation, we can do this here. All right. But we don't know that yet. So what I want to do is to say, if whatever in here, okay, I want you to go look in there, and then I want you to use the VLOOKUP, go up to, so whatever's in here, look at the VLOOKUP table, then you're going to go find whatever it is, so the number's 3, then I want you to come back and go across to yellow. So if the yellow equals the green, I'm going to put yes, otherwise no. Confused? You won't be. All right, so let's break. First time I do this, I always, is there any unhide right now? Quick. Nope, I've already unhid everything for you. All right, so let's do this. It doesn't matter. Probably I would do the if and then insert the VLOOKUP, but it's not really a big deal if you go one way or the other. So I'm going to try and go from left to right. We'll try both methods. You might want to do the VLOOKUP first. So equals if. Remember, I'm never going to use it, that insert function unless I categorically need to. If. So this is my question, my logical test. The logical test says go. So I'm going to use, as soon as I type in the VL, you'll see what happens here. VL. Okay, let it do the heavy lifting for me. Okay. What am I looking for? Whatever this value is in here. Thank you. Where's my data or my table array? It's here. I don't know if I've given it a name or not. No, I have. Oh, I have. Table 1, 2, 3. I guess that's as good as anything. Comma. How many columns do I want you to go across? There's only 2, so I guess I'm going to go 2. Okay. Did I do my comma? Yes, I did. Comma. Is it true or false? It has, because we're doing the if function, it has to be false. It has to be precise. This or nothing. All right. Okay, so I'm going to say false. A-L-S-E. Okay. Bracket. So this disappears. So what if says if whatever is in here, which will give me the result of up here. Well, okay, so whatever this number is going to go up here to the table. This is number 3. Don't worry about that. I'm going to put the word or text yellow in here. Okay, so that's what it's doing right now. Does it equal green? If it does, then yes. If it doesn't, again, quotation marks, no. Sorry, not no. Okay, no. Okay. So make sure I've got everything done. If, so whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. So we're going to do brackets until we don't see anything anymore. Okay. So I'm going to do, one bracket might be all we need. That's all we needed. And I'm going to put my, I want to put my little magnifier on. I want to show you something. It's going to get a little crazy here. Okay. I want you to be able to see what it says, comma, green. If it's true, yes. If it's not true, no. So you've got the VLOOKUP, but the one thing I wanted you to see was left bracket is black, then it's red, then it's red again, and it's back. So the colors go, if it's black, red, green, blue, on the left-hand side is going to be blue, green, whatever that is reversed up to the black. When you get to the black formula or, parentheses or brackets, we get black to black. So it's almost like bookends. You've got a book on the left and a book on the right. They're both the same. Then we should be okay. If I've done anything wrong, I don't think I have, but that doesn't mean anything. If I have done something wrong, Excel will actually stop exactly where the problem is. All right. So if I've got a quotation mark, Excel will actually stop at that mark. So it says no. Okay. So let me go here and minimize it, and I'm going to zoom in so we can actually see what I'm doing. All right. So again, what we asked Excel to do was to almost like double. It did two things at the same time. Okay, it says Excel, or it says Deb, go look over in that cell. If the number, whatever that number is, I want you to go and look, tell me what that number is, and then go up to the table here. When you see it, so if it's 1, I stop here. If it's 2, I stop here. If it's 3, I stop here. If it's 4, I stop here, and I go across 2 cells. 1, 2. I'm going to say whatever that number, whatever that is, if it equals green, so if the number equals the same, so if it was number 1, we would see yes. Okay. And so let's actually copy this down and see if and or how that works. So yeah. So what Excel said was, okay, first part is they're almost doing it. They are doing it simultaneously at the same time, but if trumps everything, because it's the first one. Says, I want you to go look over there. If whatever's in this cell here, then the VLOOKUP kicks in here, and it says, oh, okay, I'm going to go look at that number. I'm going to go up to my table. I'm going to tell you that it's true or false. Okay, and so depending on if the 1 equals the 1, so if the green equals a green in your formula, then yes. Otherwise, it's no. Okay. Once you wrap your head around that, okay, I do have more complex formulas and formulas to kind of play around with. Just want to show this one to you quickly too, because we've got lots and lots of time. This guy here is pretty much the same process. So as VLOOKUP, the only difference we did here was we inserted the data validation, so that's for later dates. So think about, it's almost like you've got this mechanism. If you think about the clock, the cogs in a clock, once one clicks into another, clicks into another, clicks into another. So the cogs in the clock all work at the same time, but each have different purposes, each have different duties. Okay, so that's why it does it in one. If we broke it down into 2, this is how it would go. Okay, look over here, and it's just going to be if it's 1, we do this. If it's 2, we do if it's 1, yes. So if 1 equals green, yes, yes. So let me stop breathing. Let's not stop breathing. Let's stop talking for a minute. And you notice I have given you the instructions here.
Debbie, I understood all that perfectly. The only thing I need to learn more about is the true and false part. What would happen if you change the false to true?
If you change if it's an if function. Oh, you mean in the VLOOKUP?
Yeah, in the VLOOKUP, in that formula.
That's right.
After the array and the column number, you have false.
That's right. Now, bearing in mind that all these values, they're whole numbers. Let's see, true. Okay. If I need to enter another formula in, I will. Equals green. Really shouldn't make a difference because
It just means the difference between true and false is true means exactly, and then false means approximately.
Reverse.
No,
Nope.
reverse.
Yeah. False is exact, true is approximate. So if, let's say one of the numbers was 2.5, I have no idea what the response is going to be with this one. So it says, this one is because it is true. It says, I don't know. It doesn't exist. Okay, so it might, I might have really messed myself up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. How are we doing? How are you guys doing? How are you feeling there? Okay?
Deborah,
Yes.
sorry,
Everything's okay. I am following you.
All right, good.
I
Was
got the
everything
last
good?
one. Yes, I got the last one. False. I don't know why. Just the last one.
Okay. So when you did the C12, you had no problem. C13, you had no problem, but C14, you had a problem.
Yes.
So then that tells me there's something wrong with the syntax of the way it's put together. And so let me do this again and break it down, because it's very easy to just kind of look up there and say, oh, I know how to do it. Who cares? You have
Yes,
to really sort of wrap your head around it.
I did it correctly. I don't know why. Just the last one gives me the.
So if you look at yours, I'm going to read mine out to you. So equals if, left bracket, VLOOKUP, left bracket.
Yes.
It's going to be A12. So the contents of A12. The only thing that I did differently was so whatever's in A12. Go look. So
Should I put the dollar sign?
Sorry,
Should I put the dollar sign?
you don't need to, but it's a good practice, because A12 becomes A13 becomes A14. All right. Doesn't make a difference, but it makes it more solid. All right. Okay. So two things are happening at the same time, but the if function trumps the VLOOKUP. I want to find this out. My question is, if whatever's over here, does it equal green? Well, obviously not right now. So what it says is, I don't see the word green, but I do see the VLOOKUP here. So then the VLOOKUP takes over priority, and it says, I'm going to go do my thing now. And I'm answering that. I'm either going to say, the only purpose of the VLOOKUP is to say, what is there? Okay, so is it green? Depending on the color, is it green? Is it purple? Is it yellow? Is it orange? So that's the whole purpose of the VLOOKUP, is to convert the number 3 or the number in here into an item of some kind. Okay, so that's how it says, even though we see the value 3, through the process of the VLOOKUP, it converts the number 3 into being text. Okay, that's what it does. That's all it does. It says, I see your number 3 and I'm going to convert it into yellow. I see that number 6 and I'm going to convert it to pink. All right. So that's what the VLOOKUP is there, and it should be false to be exact. If you weren't going to, so it says only if you see the 3, we do that. Only if you see the whatever. So it's that or nothing. Okay. So through the VLOOKUP, I've converted the number to a color. That's all the VLOOKUP did. It actually just typed. It just said, I see 3, I give you yellow. I see 6, I give you pink. So then we backtrack into the if function. It says, so if yellow equals green, I'm going to say yes. Otherwise, I'm going to say no. Or the next one down it goes to. And again, through that whole process, so because Excel in the VLOOKUP has done the conversion for us, so Excel actually sees is if whatever's over here, because the VLOOKUP has converted the 6 to a color. So if the color pink equals the color green, if you will, yes. Otherwise, it's no. So then we went down to the third option, or third choice. Same thing here. Remembering the if trumps everything, first of all. Then it asks, so this is the question. So then the VLOOKUP jumps in there and it does the conversion. It goes over and does its thing. It says, I see the 1, I give you the green. So it's converted the 1 into the text, number 1, through the process of the VLOOKUP into the text green. So then the VLOOKUP is, sorry, the if function is saying, if the color green, or remember it's already been converted to green here, if this green equals green, yes. Otherwise, it's no. Okay. So that's how it's almost like one takes control and the other one takes control, and all these things are moving and we don't see them happening. But that's how it works.
Deborah, may I share my screen to see
Please
what I'm
do.
saying?
Oh gosh, yes. Give me a second here. And then we'll say stop screen. And it's up there. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Okay, so let's go look at cell C12. Can we go look at C12? Because if you've copied it down, that's where you're. So press it. Okay, press the escape key. Okay, just press the escape key again. Okay. So, okay, Bernard, if you could, on your keyboard, if you could press the ESC key, I need to get you out of edit mode.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Okay, Bernard, can you press the escape key or the ESC key? Because right now you're in edit mode. Okay, and I need to see what's going on there. So click, so do me a favor and just click there and then beautiful. So just let's have a look and see what we have. If A12, if we look up A12, yes.
She needs dollar. She needs dollar.
Yeah, actually, no, it's the range is wrong. Okay, it should be A2 to the range should be A2 to B7.
Not A1, not A1, right?
Correct, A2. Yeah.
Okay, A2.
Yep. Okay, and you need to absolute those cells.
Yes.
Okay. So go back to it again. All right. Go back to it again. Okay. Select your A2 and A2 to B7 and absolute. Put the dollar signs in them.
And before A2?
But yeah, both $2.
Okay.
And $2. Because you selected the entire thing, that's why you didn't. And, oh, don't B7. Don't get your B7.
And also A12, first A.
Yeah, that's not necessary, but it's a good practice. Really good practice on B7. Okay, then in front of the A, because we're copying A12, comes A13, A14, A15. All right, so now you're going to go up to your formula bar and to the outside bracket on the right. You're going to press the Enter key, or you can just click on it. That's good. And you copy it down. There you go.
Yes.
Except why do we see no, no, and no? Let's go back into your first formula again. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so if VLOOKUP. Oh, yeah, not $12. It's A12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just A.
No, just $1
No,
A12.
before 12, you should delete the before 12.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yes,
$A12.
it is.
All right, and enter that. Okay, copy it down. Okay, it's quite hard. There you
There you
go.
are.
There you
Thank
go.
you. I'm so sorry.
No, this is terrific because we were able to troubleshoot and now you've got it. Perfect. Beautiful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Great teamwork here, I've got to say. Okay. How do I want to wrap up today? Because it's going to be the weekend. It's going to be a long weekend. I don't want to do auditing. It's 10 minutes, 3:49.
Debbie, you said you were going to show us a more complex one. You said this gets harder.
Can I not in 10 minutes?
Oh, it doesn't have to be today. I want you to do what you intended to.
Just going to finish up with, because it's, honestly, this is a fun thing I'm going to wrap up. Do you remember, let me share my screen again. I'm going to go to share screen, which is the file I wanted. I can't remember where it is now. I may have to go looking for it. There was one of the files I shared with Oh, no, it is here. It is Anna. Okay, so I'm going to share Anna again. Okay, and I'm going to zoom out. I'm just going to close this guy off now. So if you remember here, just the only thing I did differently here was I left it so that if we were to be able to use a little drop-down list for the number, okay, and let's do that again. And if the number changed, then you'd also see the color. We could change the color. If we were to use these things called data validation, we could further, what's what I want to use? Automate this process. Okay. So I'm going to so the file I'm going to show you is it's called feedback form. Okay. I'm going to give you a quick and simple version of feedback form. Data validation, what is it? What does it do? Why do we care about it? If it's okay, if you need to leave at 4 o'clock, please do. But I will try and wrap this up before 4 o'clock. But if you need to, don't be, I'm not offended. Just make sure you write bye when you leave, okay? So data validation feature, the file is called data validation. It's page 80. If you want to just watch me, if not, this is really a cool little exercise. Where is it? Where are you? Okay, and I know you can't see me right now. That's fine. Data. Where's my data validation? Let's go. Oh, feedback. Ninny. All right. So feedback form could be any form. And this is probably a pretty darn practical exercise. So what you want to do, and I have to preface this very carefully. If there are going to be people that can break your workbooks, they will. They will type in the wrong kind of number. They'll put too many, too little. So anytime you want to create yourself a form that you have other people enter in, you want to sometimes control what it is they do. And that's what the data validation process is. There's a little bit of reading there, all right? And so as time, you may want to make sure that somebody only enters a value or a date. Maybe you only want them to enter 150 characters into a cell. So the process is, as the book says, novice computer users. If somebody can break something, they will, not because they're being mean or malicious, they're just doing something. So I'm going to go through all the steps of the data validation, and I use this a lot with my tests, a lot with when it's almost like Google Forms. It's almost if you want to think about Google Forms, this is almost what it is. Okay, so let's do this from top to bottom. So asks us to select B10. What is in B10? Okay, it's a rating. So the limitations are going to be 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest. I don't want you to be typing 1.5. I don't want you to be typing 0. I don't want you to be typing 6. The reason is because all this information is going to be used in some kind of data set. So they're going to use this information later. So it's all got to be consistent. So travel dates have got to be dates. Ratings have got to be ratings. All these things have to be consistent information. Okay, so this is what the feedback form, that's the long end game of it. So in B10, it's asking us to go, and it's data tab. And I'm not sure what it is for the Mac, I'm so sorry, but it is there. I know for a fact it is. Okay, data validation, and let's see what we have when we get there. So data tab. Okay, data tools, data. Data validation, 3 little dots, your ellipses. So you've got every single cell, unless you change it otherwise, is always allow any value. So it says, yep, data validation is always on. It's there. The only thing we do is we switch it up or change it up. Okay, so we're going to allow what? We're going to allow a whole number. So number 1, whatever. Okay, so that's what it's an integer or a whole number. It could be greater than, it could be less than, it could be between. You've got all of these choices here, not between, so all these Boolean operators. So for now, they're saying to us between 1 and 5. So the only ones I'm going to allow is the number 1, and I'm going to allow you to put the number 5. Okay. When you hover on or click on the cell, you want to have a little message for them. Type in a number, don't go here, please click that. So this basically is almost like a little tooltip. So we've got the settings, that's good. Then we're going to select our input message. Just the input message, it's like a little text box. That's why we have the title and the input. The input message is the key piece, but it's used. You'll see both of them, and you'll see how they come together. So everything has to have a name. And so the title. Oh no. Okay, we're not even doing that yet. I'm ahead of myself. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's say okay, and then so it's asking us to type in the number 0. Okay, this value does not match the data value. That is very unfriendly. Cancel. Okay, that is unhelpful and unfriendly. And again, I know 356, so if you have to leave, I'm not offended. Okay, so now we can customize the error message as well as the informational message. So go back, cell here, data tab, data tools, data validation. I may be getting ahead of myself here. I'm trying not to. Oh, nope, we're just gonna leave it as is for now, I guess. That goes against everything I believe in, but okay, so that's saying that we can customize the message. Thank you very much. So now let's do B6. So right now, all the end user knows is I type in a number. Well, I don't know. Another form, especially when you're dealing with dates. Remember how we did the date before today's date or minus a date in the future? Dates are numbers, so we can actually use the date format quite effectively as one of our data validations. So B6, so what we're saying is we're going to put in a date, okay? But there's going to be a certain rule, and it's going to be pretty obvious when we see it. So let's go to data tab, data tools, data validation, and go back to my settings. Allow what? A date. All right. Is there anything? Is it before? Is it after? Is it what? Okay, it's going to be less than today. So if you have already, this is where the penny drops. Okay, you are giving feedback on a vacation you have completed. So the travel date has to be a date before today. That's why I love it so much. So the date has to be before. No, sorry, it's not before. It's less than, the same difference. Okay, less than today. Why does it do less than today? Because don't forget, Excel looks at dates as numbers. Less than equals today. We do our parentheses here. So any date you can do that's before or less than today. Thinking about Excel, looking at numbers. And is there anything else I need to do? Oh, error alert. So let's do, so jumping right to the error alert. All right. Okay. So this is the, if you messed it up, Deborah or person, this is the message you're going to see. Okay. You've got stop, warning information. So we're going to do the big one. We're going to say stop. I want to go. And so what's this stop thing being called? Incorrect date. All right, let's do it. And so that's telling you what it is. And if you need to give any more information, that's your travel date must be before today. And believe it or not, quite often people don't get your travel date. Must be before today. All right. And so it's good like this. And now it says put a date in the future. So we're actually going to test this one out. So travel date, July 1. Hopefully I've done that right. Yep. Okay. Incorrect date is on the little title of the box here, but the piece of information your eyes go to is your travel date. This is just a little title there. So cancel. And you just would they would just go back in and enter it in. All right. So then that's 81. So you can quite often what I will do, I'll show you the ones I do. I do it when I have you select your name. So if there's 15 people in the class, exactly like Google Forms, you can do the drop-down list for that. Exactly the same. All right, so we've done that. And now they're saying, if you'd like to give us some comments, here we go. And you only go, again, because think about it as a database. You guys understand, if you're doing SAP, you understand databases. So the database, the fields may be only X number of characters. And so you don't want them to keep typing all sorts of stuff that gets lost. So you nip it in the bud, say, you've only got 150 characters, live with it. All right, too bad, so sad. So what they're going to say is, this one is going to be, now you know why I love this one so much, data tab, data tools, data validation, take a breath. So we're going to go back to my settings. Right now, anything can happen. So we're going to say, allow what? Text length. Okay. And we want it to be less than 150. Again, because that's what your database needs. We don't have any more than that. 150. But this time it wants us to do the little tooltip or the input message. So if your mouse hovers over that cell, I'm sorry about the creaking. This is what you're going to see, a little yellow text. So what are we going to be calling? So our little input message is your comment. So you got to tell people what to do. So again, this is the little title, the same way we saw with the travel date. And your comments can be entered. If you've done Twitter, you know exactly what they're talking about. Some people you even have to remind them spaces are a character. Sorry. So your comments are. I'm probably writing the wrong thing. I am making this up as I go on the fly. All right. So this is just a little yellow tool tab. It tells you what it is, gives you the title, and then let's see. Okay. So we've done two things here, and again, thank you very much for those of you staying. So we've got the date one with the warning. We've got just simply how to enter the values in, and that's the only thing we've got there. And then if you click on here, you get your little tooltip, and it tells you what this box is about, or what it is I want from you as the person who's entering this information. All right. All right. Now, the one thing I'm going to show you is not in the book. It's the travel destination. Okay, and this one is the last thing. I'm leaving you guys alone after that. What if, given the opportunity, I would maybe put in a place I've never been, but maybe their travel destinations are only 5 places. Okay, and you could do it on your own. I would do this on another sheet. So I'm going to say Tokyo. Sorry about that. Paris. London.
But I can't see your.
That's okay. You can't. That's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Sure. Okay.
I just, you'll see it in a second. Okay. So on page 2, I'm going to put it on page 1. Just imagine, so you can see me on page 1. Imagine in your mind, in our mind, this is page 2. Okay. So these are all London, New York. I don't know. Hamilton, Ontario, the epicenter of the universe. Okay, so these are all the locations that these tours go to. Okay, so put them in a list, and I'm going to give the list a name. I'm going to do name. I'm going to apply a name to them. So let's just home city. Okay, remember, this is the name box. So you're going to love this one. your travel destination. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. It's not in the book, but I love it. It's the one thing I use the most all of my time. Data tab, data tools, data validation, take a breath. Allow the list. Now, if you know the name of the list, you would just type it in here, especially if it's on a different sheet. But through the magic of pretending we're on page 2, this is my little list here. So you can highlight them if you want to. The other thing you might want to do to this list is that, bear with me, I'm going to cancel out of here. You may want to make this into a table, a data table. So insert table. Okay, why would I do that? If I want to add new, maybe there's a new city that I want to use. It'll work or not, but Calgary. So now, in putting it into a table, as you add people's names or cities in wherever they're going, by applying the table format, you just press the tab key and you add a new row. Press the tab key, you add a new row. Now let's see that. Now let's go back to our travel destination. Now back over to the data tab, and I'm trying not to keep you guys too long. And then I'm going to go to my data tools. I love this. As much as I hate the work value, I love this stuff. Data validation. Okay, so I'm going to allow the list. I can't remember what the heck I called it. So I'm going to have to cheat here. Okay, so let's hope this worked. Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Imagine, if you will, knowing what you need to know in SAP now. Can you not see somewhere tomorrow when you go back to class, can you not see somewhere somehow you can apply this? And everybody's gone and left me alone.
Right.
You guys are evil.
We're here. I'm here. I'm sorry.
Yes, we are here. I am following you. Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I wish
You
I said
guys are
something
so funny.
sooner. I don't know why, but like I feel like something was frozen. We were only seeing what you were doing with your mouse, and I couldn't see the results.
So you
But
can't.
that's okay.
So
I'm not going to make you go through all that again. I'm so
we
sorry. I
can
should have said
record it
something
anyways. Yeah.
We couldn't see anything about.
But I followed. I understood it.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. But I need to see the columns and seal and something, right?
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my completed one with you, and you've got
Okay.
and once my beautiful, wonderful video editorial person will make this into something wonderful, then you can see it on video.
Sure.
Not sure. All right, so I'm going to share this in the I guess it'll be our Google Drive. I'm sorry you guys couldn't see that. I apologize. I'm not sure why, because it was recording and it was the right screen and everything. So I don't know. Maybe it's because I jumped from sheet 2 to sheet back to sheet 1 or something. If you want me, I can do it again. But if you just want to see the video, I can do that too.
No, yeah, the video will be sufficient. Honestly, it was understandable. Everything you're saying, I was following. Yeah, it was understandable.
Just seeing it is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty, okay.
No, I watched the video. I mean, it's straightforward stuff.
It is. It's pretty straightforward. So I guess then that's the end of the day for us. And thank you guys for all of you who stuck around.
Thank you for sticking around. Thank you so much.
We'll
give you a break now until next week.
Next week, yes. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, now it's going to take.
Okay, so next Thursday, 1:30, same time.
Yeah, and
Yes,
it's going to be pivot table. So my goal is the first Thursday is to go through the structure of the pivot tables, and then the Friday we're going to hopefully do our little project where we are going to create a dashboard. Won't be anything complex, but it's going to be pretty cool.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you, you groovy, wonderful people, for sticking around. I will see you next Thursday. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy whatever day it is, Monday. family day.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Sign out when you leave. When you put that.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.